On the victory. On our next game, it's going to be a home game. It's going to be Wednesday, and we're going to be playing Troy State on Wednesday of this week. Our softball, we took a trip down south, and we started out great. We won the first game. It's always good to win the first game when you're on the road, and but we came back and we lost 7-3 and another 4-3 in the second game. So we won one, we lost two. So we want to overall we have 3 wins and 3 losses. Golf team last week they were in Cullowhee, North Carolina. Our next golf tournament is going to be at Bridgestone HBCU Classic. That's in Napa, California. And if all those people that's out west, if you're out that way, you're up in the San Francisco area, go down over to Napa and catch our golf team over there. What was that?
Bring some wine back.
That was what now?
Wine.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Bring some wine back. I used to work for Nestle, and that was always one of my trips going to California, because you always went over the week before to spend some time in the wine country. So again, catch our golf team if you're out there. Bowling, we're having the SWAC tournament this weekend, and that's going to be on the Arlington, Texas. That's where the SWAC tournament is this weekend. And on tennis, currently we're in first place as well. Next, okay. And if you want to get out and see the tennis team, you can go out tomorrow morning at 9:00. Okay, at the Gibson's complex. So that's going to be the tennis team at 9:00 tomorrow morning. So those are the highlights that we have so far this year. So far this week. Now, I want to talk a little booster news. I ran into my treasurer. He said, don't forget to remind the people that their booster dues are due. And so I'm going to remind you that booster dues are due. And our fiscal year runs from July 1 till June the 30th, okay? Anytime that you pay now, you're good all the way up until June 30th of 2025. 2026. Yeah. Now, also, we are in the process of accepting new applications for Boosters Board of Directors. We will have an election in June. So if you're a member of the Rattler Boosters, of course, you want to put that on the schedule, and you want to make sure that you're all paid up. And if you're not paid up, you want to make sure that you are paid up and that you'll be able to vote. So if there's anyone that's in here that's interested, I do have some applications with me. Feel free to come up and tell me you want to run for the board of directors, and I give you this application as well. So with that, that's all the sports and all the news that I have. Okay, thanks everybody.
All right, thank you, Selvin. There was a little problem with the audio. I found out when I went and sat down, so I got to repeat a couple of the things I said earlier real quick. We will have an online store at Kenny T's very soon. This is an example of the great work that they're doing. The official Eddie Jackson 220 Quarterback Club donks. They'll have little sneakers there and several other products, and that'll go to support us so we don't have to get outside of our zone of doing what we're not specialize at. When I had Kenny T locked in that room, I made him write me a check for $200 to kick off his $1,000. I'll go back and tell Kenny I told. But no, he's a great guy. From All-American track. If you don't know, Kenny T, one of the reasons we should support Kenny T is he was a great track star for Coach Lane, FAMU All-American and FAMU Hall of Famer. But a $200 check from Kenny T's. Silas Jefferson and Clara Jefferson, $200. No, $220. That's the 220, the old 220 amount. Yeah, I love it. Nehemiah Chambers. We paying on time. Nehemiah, I thought Nehemiah was done. You got two, he says he got two more. Yep, you got two more. Jimmy Hayes Demps, another payment of $100. Y'all know how I feel. I get excited about the people paying on time because that's dedication. Harry Demps and Devin Demps, another $100. Jimmy Mack, another $20. Thank you, Jimmy Mack. Reverend Wilson, this completes your welcome our newest Grand Rally, Reverend Wilson. Thank you. All right. Miss Crosby Harley, paying on time. She almost done. All right, boy. We rejoice when we get to that number, huh? That's a good thing. And Miss Shirley, we got $200 from Miss Shirley, and she, Coach, she wanted you to know that she's on the way to her 1,000. All right, so Miss Shirley right here. Oh, something else I need to tell you, Coach. Boss man paid $1,500, so he can ask whatever question he wants. He can question plural. All right. This past week, I called my sister from college, and I said, I'm about to go out here on the road and raise money for this campaign. Will you help me? She said, yes. I told her, I didn't tell her how many dates I needed. And I'm glad I didn't, because it's probably going to be more than the number I would have told her. But Pam Oliver has agreed to be on the road as we try to go raise these funds for the 220 Quarterback Club. It's one thing for me to walk in and say, FAMU, they said no, but when Pam walks in, I'll let her talk first and then I'll tell them why we're there. So we look forward to that, to try to get us to get to that goal. It's going to take some help, and we are making plans for coming up within the next 2 months to make some visits to some people that we think can get us over the number. We thank you all for your diligence, from those who have sent money in from out of town, definitely from my loyal 220 Quarterback Club attendees who are always here. I can't tell you enough how it makes me feel, because I was a student athlete once, and to know that there's a team like this trying to support those student athletes, and it's really important that we continue to support our team, support our coaches, support our staff to make sure they have what they need so our teams can have the results we want. We want to congratulate Coach Crary on a great run in the SWAC tournament. Our first tournament win in some time, our first SWAC win ever. And then that was the most wins we've had in a season since 2008 of this basketball season. His first year, not even a full year there. So also on April 12th is the Orange and Green game, and there is going to be a big promotion behind it that I'm not going to give away, but there's going to be some excitement around the Orange and Green game. Besides, there's always excitement because we can't wait to see these new players Coach Colzie them have brought in. I saw some videos. Okay, let's go back to last week. Let me tell you why I know our technology session last week was successful. Because Dr. Walker called me Thursday asking me what were the other sites to subscribe to on YouTube. That in itself lets me know she picked up something. When I got that call, I was excited. I said, well, we'll do it again when we need to do it, or we'll do it individually. But that was a great call to get on Thursday because, you know, I'm not a teacher. So when I was wondering, man, did the message get through? But when she called me asking the additional sites to subscribe to, I was happy. So thank you for that call, Dr. Walker. She didn't even know it. But anyway, this is getting to be an exciting time. All of the sports are going at one time. And Dr. Walker, I just thanked you for calling me Thursday, asking me the other YouTube pages to mark. So that let me know that you picked up something on Wednesday. Did you get them all marked? That answer was counter to everything I just said. You called me and asked me the other website. Yeah, for your YouTube, right? Yes. Yes. So we just gonna stop there, yeah. Yes. No, I was just telling them I was happy that you called me because that meant that you were trying to work on your craft of technology.
I have to be honest.
Okay. Okay, well, as long as you got some help and you're getting there, it don't matter. Yeah, okay, good. You called to tell her the information.
She was at my.
Okay, good. On behalf of the 220 Quarterback Club, the Eddie Jackson 220 Quarterback Club, we don't often single out people. But Dr. Jackson and Wilma and I were talking beforehand, and Walter Spencer has done an amazing job of getting his friends, family, and everyone else to send money in. Thank you so much. It means a lot to us and it doesn't go unnoticed. So I wanted to say it publicly. Thank you for continuing to push for the Rattlers. And without further ado, I'd like to bring up the head coach. Coach, you up this morning, right?
I was.
They have practice early in the morning.
I was.
So, Coach probably on fumes right now.
I'm ready.
But the head coach of the Florida A&M University Rattlers, James Colzie III.
Good to see you. Good afternoon, everyone. Before I get going, I think it's going to be important to say that when Dr. Walker, when you get on that website, somebody needs to be there with her. She mess around and don't type in YouTube, something else pops up. We gotta make sure we're gonna keep you on the right path, Dr. Walker. Okay, so make sure we always there with her on that computer. And when you get to YouTube, don't touch nothing else. Okay, but either way, yes, this afternoon, to me right now it is 12:30, but my body probably feels like it's about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We're an early group. We are as of today, we've done 28 lifts. We've done 8 OTAs, which is organized team activities, where we're out there on the field. We can coach them. We can do everything possibly on the football field except have a ball. So imagine that, right? We can coach them. We could teach them. We can meet with them, but we're not allowed to have a ball out there on the field as coaches. But once we do leave the field as coaches, we're able to throw a ball out there. Y'all understand what I'm getting by that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So we've had 8 of those. We've had 6 what we call fourth quarter drills, where you get in there at 5:50 every morning. We're in the gym, mat drills, doing agilities, doing all kind of other things. And then as of yesterday, we had our second practice. So obviously last week we were in spring break, and you guys remember we had our snow week where we weren't in school. We lost some days lifting. So I thought it was be very, very important that we didn't lose those days. So I kept some of those days as far as our lifts go. We had our actual first practice the Friday before last. We did practice 1, had spring break, had practice 2 yesterday, and then we will have practice 3 tomorrow. So per NCAA rules, you're not allowed to go out there with pads the first couple days. So our first 2 days we were in helmets. Tomorrow we will be in shoulder pads, and then on Friday we will be in shoulder pads again as well. We got as I've mentioned before, we got 96 players right there out there on the football field with us. If I look at when I go back almost 365 days, we were, as you guys know, we were scrambling a little bit as far as trying to keep guys here, things of that nature. But as far as numbers go, we had 58 players. We had 58 players last year. Now we're sitting at 96 as far as our spring roster goes. And in that 96, that's how many we have, 58. Yeah, we have 3 guys in that 96 that are not practicing. And primarily just because of academics, right? I mean, they're not taking care of their schoolwork. So, I mean, in my eyes, if you're not going to take care of your schoolwork, then there's no need for you to be out there practicing. So from those 3 guys, which again, good percentage from our 96 guys that are, the other 93 are doing well, but 3 guys that aren't currently practicing just because of academics. And we throw the statement out. The standard is the standard. Well, we got to start living by that. I thought we fell short a few times last year as far as making sure we were the standard. So we're going to try to make sure we uphold that as we continue to improve our football team. But just letting you know with that. Every other Wednesday, we have our head coaches meetings. And Ms. Suggs knows that, AD Suggs, Vice President Suggs knows that we are an early group. And so we, as head coaches, we meet at 7:30 in the morning. Today we had our head coaches meeting, and I know Mr. Vaughn and Mr. Cobb, you guys are making reference to how the other teams are doing. And in that meeting this morning, my golf, Coach Rice, our golf coach was there. In that meeting, our tennis coach was there, our cheerleading coach was there, our volleyball coach, and myself. We were all present in the meeting. Right now, baseball, they were on the road. Coach Shoup was on the road. Coach Beal, softball, was on the road. So our 2 basketball coaches, they were on the road recruiting. But baseball and softball they were all on the Zoom. Right, so everybody, as head coach, we were all sitting down. Right, we were just talking about the teams, talking about coaches, how everybody was doing, how everything was going, et cetera, et cetera. But the one question everybody wanted to know in that room was, Coach, when is the spring game? Hey, when is the spring game? What time is the spring game? So, I mean, as Mr. Vaughn mentioned, it is April 12th. We will be doing it at 4 p.m. You know what? You know who I did that for 4 p.m.? You know who I did that for, right? For the people who get mad at me for having it at 1, we're going to do it at 4, so it's not as hot. Okay, but also softball will be playing that afternoon, so we wanted to make sure we had at least a full attendance. I am well aware of what we are going to be doing for the spring game. I'm gonna just make sure Ms. Suggs is the one who definitely introduced that. It's gonna be fun for all. We will go back to doing the draft, so I'm gonna probably need somebody to help me with the technology, a little technology with that. In the past, in the orange and green game, we've had a draft, right? We've broken the teams up, so we will go back to that. When we get ready for the spring game. Another side note, tomorrow, I know some of you guys in this room have helped some of our future pros, right? Well, tomorrow is our pro day, right? We'll have at least 16 to 17 NFL teams here tomorrow to help out, to take a look at Jalen Goss, take a look at Kendall Bowler, Take a look at Kelvin Dean, Daniel Richardson, all of our seniors that have graduated. So they will be performing their pro day on Thursday at 2:00. So welcome to come out. I mean, our scouts will be there. There's going to be agents that'll be there. Obviously, the success that FAMU has had over the last few years of putting guys into the NFL, well, I could strongly encourage and suggest that we'll have at least another one in there this upcoming season, right? So just excited for those guys. They will have their pro day. They will have their opportunity to perform in front of the NFL scouts. And then when we get to Friday, those same scouts will stick out. Well, they're going to stick around and meet with our juniors, our future pros, right? So, when I give you guys a number, we got 35 seniors this upcoming year. And that's for some, that's probably a pretty big number. And in that number, right, those are guys that might have paid some dues last year, took some lumps, but we from that's 96, we got a very, very good group of seniors that will be sticking around obviously for this upcoming year. So they will do their junior day on Friday. So pro day for the deans, the Gosses, the bowlers, the deans, the Richardsons, and then for our junior day will be on that Friday. I got a question, obviously, everybody wants to ask questions about the upcoming season. And, everybody's asking me, how does it feel to be a little bit under the radar? And I snap my head over there, under the radar. What radar are you looking at? There's you're the head football coach at Florida A&M, and we've had the success that we've had over the last few years. There's nothing about being under the radar. I mean, at the end of the day, we are the radar. Right, everyone is going to, they base their seasons on how they play against us, win, lose, or draw. So, excited about what we're doing. Yep, a little bit as far as making sure we take care of our business before we worry about anybody else's. That has been the deal, right? I mean, I've kind of taken a little bit of a lesser approach, and I'll speak to Vaughn and I'll speak to the guys that that have been extremely beneficial to us. But for me, it's all about our guys. That's my stance, and I want to make sure that we are making sure we putting the best product on the field. And so that's where we're at right now. Got a very, very good group of guys. I don't necessarily, unless you ask me, don't know if it's a good idea to single anybody out. But the guys that we brought in this spring, they're doing a good job. Right, doing a really, really good job buying into the culture, understanding the shortcomings that we may have had in the fall to make sure that they don't happen this upcoming fall. So, I will say this, and somebody did ask me this already via text. All of our coaches are here. I want to thank our HR department and Ms. Suggs for pushing all of them through. They're here, and we'll, slowly but surely bring them in here. And I know everybody wants to know who our defensive coordinator is. He's in the building, not in this building, but he's in our buildings as far as the offices go, and he's putting work in, just finalizing all his stuff with HR. But we do have our entire staff. They are ready to go. They're all involved in practices and have been involved with us for quite some time, and looking forward to bringing them here individually so they can have their day in front of you, and I can just sit back and laugh at them while they talk to y'all. But other than that, again. I know basketball season's over with, and excited for what they were able to accomplish this upcoming year. And obviously the other teams that are going on, they're continuing their quest for SWAC championships. But don't believe the hype. We're still getting ready. We still understand the task at hand. We understand what are the expectations, and nothing short of a championship. And we all know that, and our guys completely, truly understand that. So I want to say thank you for you guys, for your continued support. I got a chance to see my girl yesterday when I was walking through. You need to slow down now. We were in a school zone going 55, but it's supposed to be 25. But she did slow down and say what's up to me. And then anytime I do get a chance to see you guys, it's always great to see you guys and say hello. But I know they're gonna bring you the mic, so go ahead and get ready. Got your hands popped down. I know you get ready to ask me whatever you feel you need to ask me, and I'm ready for whatever questions people may have. But again, good to see everybody.
I'm gonna start with a question from online.
Yes.
How are the QBs and the defensive line looking?
Defensive line, and you notice we brought in about 4 or 5 guys in just from our defensive front standpoint. We're gonna be led by James Ash. and obviously James Ash is the guy that's going to get some NFL looks. But how good he is will be beneficial to everyone else. But we did sign DJ Jones, a young man from Virginia. We signed a guy by the name of Elijah Alexander, another defensive end from Stetson. Right, we got a guy named Johan Myers that we signed from Kennesaw, on top of the other guys that are returning, the Cam Donalds of the world, the James Gardens of the world. So obviously we had, we're in this room, we are Rattlers. We knew we needed to improve our defensive line, and I really feel that we did that. Our quarterbacks, obviously we lost the SWAC player of the year at that position. Over the last 3 years, we've lost that guy, right? Musa for the 2 years prior, and then obviously losing Daniel Richardson this year. Tyler Jefferson right now is doing a really good job. Young man from Lake City, Florida, transfer from Central Michigan, but he's a redshirt sophomore, right? So there's some maybe after the spring, maybe have some possible motion as far as what we'll do in regard to that position. But for the most part, Tyler's done a really good job up to this point. We've only had 2 practices, and those 2 practices we weren't in pads, right? We were just in helmets. So, but up to this point, Tyler's done a really good job, as well as Bryson Martin, who was sick for a couple of weeks. But both of those guys, in my opinion, right now at the quarterback position, are doing a really good job. Yes.
Good afternoon, Coach.
Hey, good afternoon.
I'm calling that. Do we accommodate walk-ons at this late date?
We do. I mean, we've had some guys. That's a great question. We've had some guys that pop out. There's going to be a new rule it's going to pop up for us this upcoming fall, where we're only going to be able to have 105 guys on our roster, right? Only 105. And you heard me mention right now I got 96 guys right now for the spring, and that's not counting the 10 to 15 guys that we signed, in February, right? So, we got to be real, specific and particular about who we do bring in. Yes, I mean, some of our best players that I've seen over the last 3 years, the Nayron Jenkins of the world, he was a walk-on before he came on the scene. So, we do want quality walk-ons. They're just they're in a little bit of a different process as far as how we would handle them as scholarship guys. So we always entertain them to tell them, come to the office, come to Gallimore Fieldhouse, right? And we'll sit down and have a conversation. We're going to want to watch your film, talk to your high school coaches or whatever university or colleges you may have come from. So we do a little bit of a background, but we always tell the guys, whoever does want to walk on, just come over by the field house. When you want to play, are you trying to play? You asking for somebody else, or are you asking for yourself?
Coach,
Yes,
with the 96 players you have now, how comfortable are you with putting a team on the field tomorrow?
Not being able to go full pads yet. I think, this is what spring practice is all about.
And you think you have the team, or you can select a team out of the kids that you have right now? Or are you waiting to pick up some more kids?
I think we'll pick up some more kids in the portal, just because we have the opportunity to. I think right now, talent level, I think we have probably some more talent right now than we did last year. But I just think at that quarterback position, right? We're gonna probably go as far as our quarterback goes, right? And I think right now with Tyler only having 2 full practices, right? Bryson Martin only having 2 full practices. We got to still kind of wait and see where we are. But if you look at our offensive line, you look at our wide receivers, you even look at our linebackers, our defensive backs, I think we've got some good players there, especially with some of them, well, not some of them, a lot of them returning. I just think it's important to just go through the entire spring process, right? Go through the process, see where we're looking, see what we need, and then make the decision. Because we'll have that opportunity, right? When we have our spring game, April 12th, that next week, we'll make our decisions, and then the portal opens up. We all know how the portal works, right? There's going to be some availability to get better, and we are a spot that when people get into the portal, for some reason, they want to come to Florida A&M. So I think we'll have that opportunity.
Now with that portal,
Yes.
everybody's talking about the NIL deal.
No.
Are we paying or are we using the NIL deal to get ball players?
We do have a collective, and I just see Ashley over here to my left over here, who runs our collective and helps with our collective. But we do have some guys that are in a position to receive some NIL funds. You know, are we at the you know, the level of some of the FBS programs? No. We're gonna always want and hopefully get more. I just feel in this building we're always asking for money, so I just feel that we have to kind of get some outsource sometimes, right? We're gonna need more, but from other people. You know what I mean? I just think that that's going to be important. I mean, and again, you know, our rival, like, I mean, for the last 3 or 4 years, and I'm just going to put this out there, but for the last 3 or 4 years, what game has determined who won the SWAC championship? Jackson State. And Jackson State has a collective full throttle. They have a collective full throttle. And I mean, like, so they, you know, we won the national championship in 2023, and we were slowly but surely trying to get our collective going. Jackson State won it this past year. Their collective is full throttle. Like it is full throttle. They don't want to lose. They didn't want to lose anybody, and they went full throttle. And I mean that's you correct if I'm wrong. That's what happened. So, in our conference, right? It is going to be, and I don't want to piss off any other teams, but I mean the fact is that Florida A&M and Jackson State. You know, that game is potentially, which has been the last 4 years, right? That's been who determined who won it.
Is it boosters or outside? Boosters or sponsors?
Anybody, right? Anybody who wants to be a part of our collective has that ability, right? Has that ability. So, I mean, and you know, and now she's here. I know she's come and spoke a couple times, but that's where it's at. That's where it's at. Now they did lose the players. Don't get me wrong. All right, there were some other guys similar to us last year. They lost them to, you know, FBS programs, but they too thought it was important to get their collective going. And for the most part, if I'm not mistaken, you know, I don't pay attention to their collective too much. You know, I make sure we take care of ours, but I mean that's going to be equally important because, you know, the first thing, of course, and just so you guys know, when guys are interested in FAMU, the first question they ask, you know, they want to, they're in that boat where they want to know about our academics, but that second or third question is, what type of NIL do you have, or can you afford us? Great question.
Coach.
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well.
I'm gonna be collecting those newspaper articles.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
But this is a self-serving question.
Yes, ma'am.
Recruitment for players. I'm from the Northwest Florida area, and the Alumni Association, they have a new one in Milton. Big shout out.
Okay.
They're doing scholarships, but I'd like to see some more of our players from that area, from Pensacola to Panama City. When I go to visit, I see too much orange and blue and some other colors from people who are not from FAMU. The alumni are there, but I'd like to see some more of our players. I think we got some good guys there. I'm not sure. I think they're going to some of the other schools. So that's self-serving, but I'd love to see some more of our players from that area.
Well, and I will commend you and say thank you for that information. And I will say this, you know, I have received phone calls just throughout my tenure, right, of maybe us not being at certain places more than we need to be. You know what I mean? And what I tell those coaches is that I'm going to make sure that we are better in that area. You know, so you know and as you guys have known, we've hit the portal over the last few years, and I thought we did maybe a better job this past year for getting some high school kids signed. But you know, we need to get more high school guys. So that's evident to us having right now 35 seniors, right? Because we've gone and got guys with only a year or 2 years left. You know, you got to build that foundation with high school guys. And obviously in Pensacola, in that area right there, they do have pretty good football over there, if it's safe to say. And so Coach Poe, who was our defensive back coach, he had our South Florida area this past year. He's now going to have that area. So, and he will do he did a good job in South Florida this past year. He will do a good job in that area this year. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Go to the time change. Where the time change is.
Coach,
Yes, sir.
I want to know, what about the punters and kickers?
Well, you know, we ended up signing Alex Davis, right? Alex Davis was the #1 punter in the SWAC this past year. He finished first in average yards. He even punted 181 yards, you know, this past season. So he's been working. That's got a very, very dynamic leg. Gunnar Trout was our punter last year, right, as he finished the season. So those two guys are right now battling. We brought in two guys with kickoff, our kicker. We brought in Cooper Baddox, a young man from Everett Waters. He was a starter there. And then we brought another guy in, Andrew Abuakel, who was at Western Michigan. So, our punting game, our long snapper, they're one's in a battle as far as punting goes. Two are in a battle as far as punting goes. Martinez was our starting long snapper 2 years ago. He'll more than likely solidify that position. We're still trying to figure out who our kickoff guy is going to be. Most importantly for me, right, that's our kickoff. Put us in some tight spots as far as coverage goes. So, we got two guys in there right now. If they are successful, we'll get ourselves in the portal to make sure we fix that issue.
Hey, Coach?
Yes.
Yes, sir. I've been.
I know. I'm gonna bring my old line coach in. He's gonna be my next guy.
Please do.
Coach Cedric Williams. So he ain't gonna sit over here. He's gonna sit right there with God. But he'll love every minute of it.
Our offensive line, I look from end to end. How is they looking this year and, coming back and now offensive line?
Well, Ashton Grable is back. Ricky Taylor is back. Charles Davis is back. Those guys were three of our starters last year. Nathan Gates played a bunch for us last year. These are every guy I mentioned are guys that are back with us, right? Jeremy Fishkin, he's back, right? So, those are 5 guys that play significant snaps for us. We ended up getting 2 guys, young man from Rutgers, and then another young man from Iowa Central. So, in my opinion, we still need to get about 3 or 4 more. That's my opinion, right? So that's what I feel.
Our offensive line coach, we still have those positions.
Well, Coach Cedric Williams is our new offensive line coach.
Okay.
He was at North Carolina Central, and he was one of the best coaches in the country. So I know North Carolina Central people are a little bit mad at me, but he was their offensive line coach there the last couple of years. And you guys have watched North Carolina Central throughout the last few years. They've been a really, really good football team. He's our all-line coach now. So, excuse me.
Oh,
Hey, Coach, good to see you.
Good to see you, boss.
Question. I noticed you mentioned Bryson and Tyler, which I got a chance to see in high school. He's a great athlete. Did we have any of our quarterbacks that we have transfer, Junior or Ashton?
Look, Junior's there right now. We got to take care of some stuff off field. Yeah, I'm excited for him to get that done. I'll leave it at that. We lost David. David, he was our 4th or 5th team quarterback. He ended up going to Canada, believe it or not, to play college football up there. So, I really, really feel that, especially at that position specifically, I just think it's going to be best for me as a head coach and our offensive staff. Let them go through a spring and just see where we're at. I can say this. The receivers that they're throwing to, and then you'll see it on the 12th. Our receiving core is better this year than we may have been either last year or the year before. I'm just saying, I mean that. And we got some guys that can absolutely run. We got some guys that can actually they catch the football. They do a lot of good things with it. We lost Gassett last year, right? And Gassett was really, really good for us, but that's all we lost, right? You add Jalen Rogers to the mix, who's a young man from Tulane, but DeMarquez Bell, right? You go Ace Cobb, right? We added a young man by the name of Kanari Wilcher that is from Clewiston. He was at Illinois. So, we got some guys that can catch it and run with it. We added, Don Franklin, who's our running back. He ended up as our starter last year. Bo Somerset's back as our tailback. And we added a young man by the name, a guy, Robert Haley, that was from Western Michigan, who can absolutely fly, right? So, offensively, we're in install 2, right? And we've only put in, I think, offensively, I think it's maybe 15 to 20 plays, right? So we're able to run those plays right now successfully. Defensively, we've only put in our base stuff, right? So I think, it would be irresponsible for me to just talk about them right now, and we haven't gone through those 15 days where, every program needs those 15 days, right, to see where you're going to be at at the end of spring. So, I'm excited about Tyler Jefferson. I'm excited about Bryson Martin, just primarily because of the ability that they have. But, they also got 2 or 3 years left, right? So at the end of spring, we'll see, hey, can we ride with these guys, right, to help us win a championship, or do we need to maybe go elsewhere? I just don't know if I can answer that question just yet.
Coach,
Yes, sir.
it sounds like you're not satisfied. Well, you're looking for someone else to come into the quarterback position.
No.
Well, now what I was about to say, if the quarterback that you have now, that you probably have on the depth chart is number 1, does not meet your standards or whatever, how will that change your game plan or your coaching strategy? Just say, you just said we got a good receiving core. We got a good receiving core. And this kid cannot throw the ball that way.
I never once said.
No, you didn't say it, but, the implication was there.
I'll say this.
Go on.
The recruiting landscape right now, okay, and because everybody, and I told that the starting quarterback at Florida A&M is one of the most important positions in the country. Okay, well, I can see with the landscape that we have right now, right, and it's not just at the quarterback position. You know what I mean? We have the ability to get better after spring. Right, and that might not be at the quarterback position. That might be at the offensive line position. Because if our offensive line position gets better, guess who else gets better? Quarterback, wide receivers, and running back. Right. So what I gotta see him do is whoever the quarterback is run our offense. Right. Got to be able to run our offense. Now, running our offense at the quarterback position isn't just out there running the plays. Right. I mean, is he going to be a leader? What kind of person is he going to be in the locker room? Are our players going to respect him, right? Is he going to work outside of just practice time, right? So, I got some other positions that you ain't even asked me about yet that we also, I think, maybe need to get a little bit better with. But, I just think that irresponsible of me to make a judgment on anybody on our team
Right.
after 2 practices that haven't been in pads yet.
Very true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, what implication did you say, are you going to say I made with what I just said?
I don't want the kid to hear this.
No,
I don't want the kid to hear this and think that you have given up on him.
I have not. I mean, I tell our players every day, we evaluate you every day. We evaluate every single player that we have on our roster, we evaluate them every single day. Yeah, we evaluate them. Now, it just happens to be, and we know this, right? The quarterback position is the one everybody's going to want to know about. I mean, y'all might care about who our starting right guard is going to be, but when I say who our starting quarterback is going to be, the whole room's going to get silent, right? So, and whoever our quarterback is, those 4 or 5 people that are sitting in that room, they understand the magnitude of the situation.
All right.
Well, I'm done. Guys, thank you very, very much again for another afternoon. I do have one question for you, Mr. Vaughn.
Okay.
Rudy Hubbard Way, what took so long?
I have no idea. I'm just glad they finally got it done.
Exactly.
You might not know this, but everybody else will know this. Hey, Commissioner Curtis Richardson is in the building. Hey, Curtis. Speaking of Rudy Hubbard, do y'all know where I watched the 1978 championship football game? At George and Alice Thompson's house. You know who else was there? Ann O'Neill, and I was a kid. Ann O'Neill. I learned some words that day. I learned a lot of words that day. Over and over that I learned. Love Auntie Ann. Colonel asked me, John C. wanted to thank us and our team for sending the basket to him. John's recovering from a knee surgery. And so our team, the great people that run this, that really run the Eddie Jackson 220 Quarterback Club, got together and on behalf of us sent the basket to John. So John, get well soon. And we'll see you back out here hobbling.
Do we know what the cost is, or is there a cost for the spring game?
Because of what's going on in the spring game, there will be a cost, and we hope by next week, VP AD Suggs will be able to make that announcement. But I think it's a great addition to what we're trying to do.
Where do you have a location? Location, the street.
Where James house was on
Osceola and Martin Luther King? Yeah. What's that?
I'd like to see the hands of the people in here who would really want to sit on the west side at the spring game.
Her question was, the hands go up. If you want to sit on the west side of the stadium, I will relay that unanimous decision to VP Suggs today. Because if it's 4 o'clock, that means the sun can be behind and it'll quickly die down behind the press box and all of that good stuff. So, but as she explained, per the SWAC's strong recommendation, the home team, our Rattlers, will be back on the east side this year.
6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. Yeah, 6 o'clock.
Who? Harold Thornton wife, we will keep her in our prayers, and the committee that does that will get that information. Thanks for everybody that's online. Make sure you leave a donation on our Cash App. I'd like to thank Dr. Elisa Jackson for taking over that task and getting that done so that our Cash App was fully functional. We had money in there we could transfer. Turn it over to somebody who's responsible, and she got that done for us. So if you're online and you want to donate via Cash App, please do so. Like I said, our store is our store, 220 Quarterback Club store, will be on, hosted by Kenny Tees. We'll have things like these nice shoes that I don't even want to wear. I don't want to mess up the bottom. I'm put some tape on the bottom. Like, huh? My son better not put them shoes on. Yeah, have a problem. These are 15s.
Oh, just a size.
Any size, and they have women's size as well. But I'm 6'3.5". What I look like with some little feet? I want to welcome somebody who hasn't been here in a while. One of my favorite FAMU baseball players, Al Washington. How you doing, Al? Good to see you, brother.
How do you access the store?
The store is just getting started, so we'll be announcing that over the next couple of weeks as Kenny develops it. You missed earlier, I locked him in the room in the back of Kenny T's and harassed him into doing the store for us so that we wouldn't have to be peddling t-shirts and polos and all of those. It'll have a lot of great things that you could buy. And everything you buy there supports the 220 Quarterback Club, so. I don't know, he just gave me mine to demo, and Dr. Jackson, so we don't know. Hey, don't hate me because I got an NIL deal. Yeah, you can take him around. Just watch Leroy when it's over, make sure. Once again, thanks for joining us. And Dr. Jackson, anything else for the good of the order? Anything else for the good of the order? All right, our CEO does a great job. Y'all give her a round of applause. All right, we gotta go. Today is my mom's birthday, so I gotta 83 today. And just as feisty as she wanna be. All right. Once again, thanks for joining us here and thanks for joining us online, and we will see you next week.
Right. Joe gave her a shout out at 12 today. Oh,